My name is Sean Steed. I'm an environmental horticulture production extension agent with the University of Florida Institute of Food and Agricultural Science. Today we're going to talk about measuring fertilizer levels and pH in large container production. The first thing you're going to need to have is a working pH and EC meter. They come in various different sizes and shapes, and they can range from around $150 to over $500. And you want to have it calibrated according to manufacturer's instructions. We're going to bring you out in the field where we have set up a drip pan system that will measure leaching fraction, but it will also measure a pour-through method. We've got another pot set up to look at a lysimeter method where you're pulling water from the bottom of the pot. And then we have another pot set up where we're going to demonstrate a 2-to-1 extraction method where we'll have 2 parts water to 1 part soil needed. Here in the field we have our container pot. We also have our spray stake. And you know how much volume the spray stake is. If you just put this in a cup, run it for a certain amount of time, you know how much volume you'll get. If you put it in your container, after you wait about 30 minutes after an irrigation run, you can capture that water with this drip pan. This is just a pizza pan with a hole punched in it. If you wait 30 minutes after your irrigation, you'll have a volume of water in this cup. A good thing to do is if you're leaving this out in the field, you may want to put a rock in there to hold the cups down. You know how much water went in by the amount of time, and you know how much water came out. That's your leaching fraction. You can take this water now and measure pH and EC. In the pour-through method, you want to take just enough water to pour around the surface of the pot after 30 minutes to an hour after you've irrigated. The water should percolate through the bottom of the pot, wind up in this pan, drip down into this cup, and now you've got your pour-through method to measure your pH and EC. Here we have a lysimeter set up, and what a lysimeter is, it's a tube of some kind, whether plastic or glass. In this case it's a glass one. You have a ceramic porous tip, and what you have is a tube that runs the whole length of this, and it runs down to the bottom where it can collect water. It has a rubber stopper on the top, and here is a crimp to crimp the tube when you pull the pressure. So what we do is you can use either a pump, or in this case it's a small lysimeter. We're able to use a syringe. You pull the pressure with the syringe, and with this lock, you lock it in place, and now this is set to pull water from its surroundings. And here what we have is one already set out in the field. And this one is, make sure that you drill a hole all the way to the bottom of your pot. And what we'll do is we set this 24 hours before we run the irrigation. And what you can do is use a different time, whatever you guys feel comfortable doing. It might be 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. We use 24 hours. But make sure every time you do it, it's consistent so that you can look at your EC and your pH readings in a consistent manner. And what we do is after we've pulled the pressure, we've let it sit, it's collected the water, what you can do is attach your syringe, open your crimp to allow the water to escape, and you would pull on your suction and you collect the water. Now this water is from the pot, so you can measure your EC and your pH that way. Here we're going to talk about the 2-to-1 method of measuring pH and EC. What you're going to do is take 1 volume of soil and 2 volumes of water. Make sure you're using the same volume container. You're going to make sure that that's good and mixed, and you're going to let that sit for about 15 minutes. After about 15 minutes, you can put this slurry into your pH or EC meter and get a reading. What I tend to use is the irrigation water for my mixed water, because that's the water that's going to be seen by the roots of the plant. Measuring pH and EC doesn't have to be a tangle of numbers. It's a fairly simple process. Remember a couple things. When you're using your pH meter, always make sure that it's calibrated properly using 4, 7, and 10 calibration fluids. And the second thing is whatever method you're going to use, whether it's the 2-to-1, a lysimeter, a leaching fraction, or a pour-through method, Make sure that you use the same method, the same way from time to time. That way you can compare numbers over time and they'll be consistent. And I hope you found this video interesting and informative, and you can use it to track your pH and EC over time, allowing you to troubleshoot problems with your media, your water, and know when it's time to properly fertilize again. Thank you.